Good evening. We are back on Car Mechanic Simulator 2021, and I'd like to welcome you to Hillbilly Mechanics. And what we are working on today is two different cars. I went and bought these from the car salon, so they're brand new cars. And I just wanted to show you that you can buy a brand new car and still make money off of it. But these two cars, I'm not going to be selling them, but I will show you the profit we'll make off of them. I will be adding these to my collection. And the first one we're working on right now is the Mayen 2012 Mayen T8, but this is the SR version. And we'll be working on the Echo COBRA, but it's the VENOM edition. And basically on this one, what we're going to be doing on this one is we'll be doing an engine swap. We will be going with the V8 overhead valve CGM SC to get more horsepower. But for right now, I have went through and I'm going to show you what I've already done to save a little time on the game. Now I haven't touched the COBRA yet. And I'm going to do the same with the COBRA. So the stream's going to be a little longer than normal because like I said, I'm adding these to my collection. So I'm putting on touches that normally I wouldn't put on in a stream. But stick around with me and you're going to I hopefully like what I'm doing here. Okay, as you see, I have added the same color of the car to the rim. And now these are brand new cars, but I've still torn them down because I'm painting the parts. I have painted the arms. As you can tell, I painted the brake caliper. I painted the shock springs the same color as the car. The gas tank I painted chrome. And I've done the same with the back. I have put on the high performance disc brakes. Okay, this is what I've gotten done so far. And I did it just as, you know, it would probably get pretty boring watching me paint these parts because you just can't go through and paint them and paint them and paint. You got to back out, go back in, back out, go back in, back out. And it becomes pretty time consuming and pretty monotonous. But anyhow, I've got the engine still in the car, but because I am going to take and paint the engine, I had an extra engine block. And right here it sits. As you see, I've gotten it painted. And we are going to be putting it together with all high performance parts. So that's where it stands with this car right now. So we're going to go ahead and we're going to go ahead and get this engine together. So we're going to go ahead and click on it here. And we'll go ahead in and buy our crankshaft. And then we'll add our pistons and our crankshaft bearing caps. I'll need 1, 2, 3, 4 down. And bearing cap. Okay, we'll go down to high performance parts here, and we'll go ahead and get our fuel filter, ignition coils, 10 of the piston, camshaft. I'll go back up here, and I'm going to type in R for ring, and we'll get 10 rings. And then I'm going to put in rods. Caps. Why it didn't come up. I'll go ahead and throw a piston in here, and then I'll just. Alright, there's the engine. Need 10 of them as well. Alright, now we can start putting every internal part in. Alright, now I'll put our rod caps and our crankshaft bearing caps on. Now the whole thing about buying a new car, if you're going to make money off of it, you're going to have to add the high performance stuff to it, or you're not going to make no money off of it. But the great thing is you don't have to tear apart the suspension or the tires, unless you're going to paint them like I did. And one might say, well, why are you painting it when nobody ever sees it? Well, it's just because I'm adding it to my collection and I want things to look good. Well, the stream's not only about building things and showing you how to do it, it is also about some of them adding to my collection. Go up here and get into head B, into head A, and we can go ahead and add our pulls. Now, the thing about these engine heads is a lot of times when you paint them, and I'll show you because we're going to go over here and see if we'll actually paint the outside and actually, I need to go ahead and rotate it back to the right. I want to paint this oil pan as well. Alright. On these heads, a lot of times just paint the inside of the head instead of painting the outside. So we'll see what it does with these. And we're just going to paint the inside and then don't worry about painting them because you're more or less just wasting your money. Yeah, see how it's just changing the color on the inside and the ports? But because we're here, and I got the money, I'm going to go ahead and paint them. Like I said, it's just a preference. You don't have to do this if you don't want to. I'll paint the oil pan. There it is. And we're going to paint the same color as the car. Alright, so we'll get that stuff painted. I'll go ahead and put the whole pan back on. Spark plugs to buy, and the push rods. And we'll go ahead and get the intake ready to be bought. Alright, so we're going to go ahead in and buy the high performance spark plug. 10 of those. Exhaust manifold, 2 of those. And the intake, 1 of those. And we'll go ahead and put in our exhaust manifold and our spark plug and our valve push rods. Get our fuel filter on there. And to save time on the video, I may take and make us a 2-part stream. Car parts, valve push rods. I'll need 20 of those. And we need a cam gear. And then buy the rocker arms as well, and need 20 of those. And as you're going down there, you see how I can zoom in and move on down so the view don't get blocked. You just tap your X button. And so our rocker arms on this side. Get our valve cover, which I'll be painting, so I'm not going to install it just yet. Put in our cam gear down there. And we'll go ahead and do this side. Plug wires will be bought. And then we got a rocker harness on this side. Rotate this camera view around so the light is not blind. You can see what I'm doing here. And once we get these done, then I'm going to take and be doing, so they come out with 2 new DLCs. And we will be doing police cars and taxis. And plug wires. Alright, so we'll go ahead in and get our plug wires. And I'll go ahead and down here and get our timing chain and get it put in. And our timing chain color. Alright, so we got all that, so now we're ready to paint what parts can be painted. Alright, so all that's painted. I'll do the final cover here. You need to see this is a little darker than what the rest of it is. And sometimes you can go in and adjust the brightness on it. And try to get as close as possible to matching the rest. Alright. So we got everything painted, so now we're ready to put all that on there. And we're going to get our fuel rails and our throttle. I'm not going to paint the throttle because it comes in chrome. I'll see what the fuel rails look like. And get our valve fan put on this side. Alright, now we're ready to put our timing curve on the front. And now we need to mark all this stuff to buy. And we'll go ahead and buy it all. And then in here and get the alternator and the power steering pump. Go back up to regular car parts and get the 2 outer roller beads we need. Crankshaft pulley, water pump, and the oil filter. Now I should be able to paint the water pump. Let's see if we can paint the water pump. No, we cannot paint the water pump on this one, which makes no sense because you can paint them. I don't get why you can paint on some vehicles and some you can't, but you can't paint it on this one, so we'll go ahead and install it. Water pump pulley. Get her belt. Now the roller A. Alright. Basically the motor is all together with the exception of adding the high performance flywheel, clutch plate, pressure plate. Alright, there it says it's painted. Everything's been put on there that's high performance that you can add. Take it from the engine stand. And again, these are new cars, so I'll lower it down. I've already drained the oil out of the other motor. And we'll pull out the new engine. And we will install the one that's painted. Not sure which one it is. We'll put that one in. That one's not it. Nope, that one's not it. Alright, now we got the one that's painted in. We're going to come in here, and the only thing in here we can add that's high performance would be the ECU unit. So we'll pull out it and your air filters. And we'll take and pull the air covers off the top of these. Add that to the shopping list. Pull them up out there. Scroll over and get the ECU. We're going to put in a stage 3 ECU. And then we will get both the air filters. Now we're ready to install all that. Now you're not gonna make a whole lot of money off these new cars, but just want to do this to show you that you can go buy a new car and build it and make some money off of it. Alright, so the engine is back in it. So now we need to add some oil to the engine. Okay. Now we're ready to put the rear suspension all back together and put the transmission in it. And put the exhaust on. That's the high performance gearbox. Okay, we got our exhaust done. Rear axle on this side. And put the tire back on it. Okay, now just to recap everything I've done. I have taken, went and bought this one brand new, and this one brand new. And I have taken and painted the suspension parts that can be painted on this one, as you can tell. I pulled the motor, built a motor of all high performance and pulled the motor out of it. Put on high performance exhaust, gearbox, high performance disc brake. And here's the front end. As you can tell, I painted the suspension on it as well, and I painted the gas tank chrome. So all that's done. The motor is back in it, so now we can lower it down. Here's a look at the motor sitting in it, painted. I painted some of it black chrome, and I painted some of it blue to match the car. Now we'll go in and I'm going to pull these license plates off of it. And I'll put a West Virginia plate on it. And I'll add a West Virginia plate to it. And now you can go in and see. Okay, so I bought the car for $318,000. The sale value is $357,000. I'm making a $38,000 profit, almost $39,000 profit off of a brand new car. And again, the only thing you need to do is come in, and on the brand new car, if you want to make money off them, is just take and pull the motor, high performance stuff, and put a high performance ECU and air filter in there. And yeah, I went through and painted it, but like I said, I'm adding this to my collection. Now we'll take and move the car and back out of that. Move car to the test path. And since we pulled the tires and everything off because I painted the rims to match the car, we need to take and align the wheels. Now if you're not going to paint stuff On a new one, you will not need to go in and align the wheels. Alright, so that's done, and it's already been painted. I've painted it. Now we're ready to take it to the dyno and see how much more horsepower we get out of it. Alright, so the top speed on it says 229 miles an hour. I am going to leave the gears alone and just adjust the ECU. Basically what you're trying to do is get this where they're all down pretty low. Not gonna do it. Takes some playing with to get this to where there we go, 12%. Okay, so we picked up 500 more horsepower and 381 more foot-pounds of pressure to give it 1,025 on the horsepower and 780 foot-pounds of pressure. These are rear tires. So let's take it to the test path now and see how fast we can get to go. Again, I did not add another gear to this one. Some of them I had another gear to, but I didn't this one. Engine sounds pretty mean in this one. One thing get a little out of control. I'll head back down here and try this again. Definitely not wanting to go straight. Okay, so we did get up to 229. And if it would actually say straight from the get-go, and we can throw another gear in, we'd probably get it up to like 240, 250 mile an hour. But it will not say straight. But here's a look at the car out on the track. Let's return to the garage. We're back in the garage, and I'll go ahead and take and pop that and show you the motor again. Open that. And this is what it looks like up front. Well, you can make a nice looking car by painting the engine and the suspension parts. And you know, you can't see the suspension parts, but I know they're painted, and it's just something that I want to do. I mean, you don't have to do it because you can't see them, but we'll sit down in here and I'll show you what the inside of the car looks like. Really nice looking inside car, one of the better ones I've seen. Looks really cool in here. Back out. So this is car one. This is, again, a brand new car. You can make money off of new cars, as I showed you. Go ahead and close this up. Alright, we'll go ahead and move it back to lift 2. This is a nice looking car. Now you can take and add 3-star parts to your motor, and they'll give you more horsepower as well, which I'll probably be doing because I do it to all my collection cars. But the next car we're going to be doing is, again, this is the Echo Cobra, but it's the Venom edition. It comes with the fancier stuff on it, like the fancier bumper, the fancier tail lights, front bumper, headlights, and hood. And I think I got the standard edition sitting out here. Yeah, here's the standard edition right here. Now I did go in and I did buy the fancy hood for this one, and the headlights and the bumper. But I put a different pin on the back of this one. They do not come with this pin. I added it to it. And I have already rebuilt this one. Now this one, I went a little different on the motor. It does not have the big motor in it. I'm going to put that one inside the garage there. And right there's a police car that I found in the auction junkyard that I'll be doing a stream on as well. But that is one of 2 cars, and I'll show you again here real quick. Profit of $27,000. Not sure why the profit went down from the other. It was at $38,000. And $27,000 is not much money if you don't have money. But I'm sitting on 22 mil, so it's really not a big deal for me. Alright, but anyhow, that is car 1. Here real quick. Okay, and for stream 2, which I'll be doing this one here, and it'll also detailing painting the suspension parts, and I'm going to change the rims up on it, put different rims on it. But that is part one, folks. The Mayen TASR V10. If you like the videos, hit the like button, and if you haven't subscribed, please do so. I thank you for it, and I thank you for watching my videos. Again, this is Hillbilly Mechanics on Car Mechanic Simulator 2021. Catch me on stream 2, and it will be the Echo Cobra Venom. And y'all have a good night, and I'll catch you on the next one.